A tense showdown loomed, necessitating a crucial conversation with my client before proceeding. I anticipated a contact, though not necessarily from me. I discerned Jake's subtle implications, but refrained from comment. Thanking him for his time, I departed the cafe. Immediately, I dedicated myself to preparing the divorce documents. The lingering sorrow dissipated, replaced by a potent fury, driving me to ensure Xander faced the consequences of his actions. His predicament seemed inescapable. Xander contacted me after a single day, calling my number despite his previous instructions. Predictably, he sounded agitated. "What the hell did you tell my lawyer?" he bellowed. "Sophia, you're calling after telling me to stay away." His frustration was palpable. "What happened with your lawyer, Xander? Stop stalling. Tell me what you told him that caused him to withdraw today." His lawyer's withdrawal, he lamented, was unfortunate. "You should have been forthright about your circumstances and the opposing party," I countered. "You're nothing. I won't let you steal my family business. Watch me dismantle you in court. You'll be begging for mercy." I offered a pragmatic suggestion. "Remember to disclose your affair and the prenup to your new lawyer." Xander abruptly ended the call, his reaction revealing his precarious position. His frantic attempts to secure representation were futile. My reputation and the obvious flaws in his case deterred potential lawyers. His boast of making me beg for mercy was merely a desperate cry. I knew his eventual surrender was inevitable. One morning, an unexpected visitor appeared at my door. To my surprise, it was my soon-to-be ex-husband, looking dejected and exhausted. I invited him inside, avoiding an embarrassing scene. "Make it quick, Xander. I have no time for this. Why are you here?" We agreed to communicate only through lawyers. "About that," he admitted, "I haven't found a suitable divorce lawyer yet." "Oh, the unfortunate truth of that. Xander, you better hurry, as your mistress is eagerly awaiting your marriage." His attempts to shift blame were futile. "You've been undermining my lawyer, making them unwilling to— I wasn't expecting you. Our surnames differ," I explained, "as I married after receiving my legal degree. I used my maiden name for official purposes." "Ah, I see," Jake muttered, clearly uncomfortable. "So, you intend to prolong this case?" "My client has misled you, Jake," I countered. "He is the one seeking to drag this out. Isn't that what he told you?" I pressed, leveraging my reputation as a formidable legal professional. Jake, accustomed to precise questioning, found himself flustered. "You don't have to answer that," I continued. "I've known Xander for over a decade. I married that man, for goodness sake. I understand his mindset." To alleviate Jake's predicament, I offered a candid assessment. "Since I know you, and it's not fair to you, I'll be frank about this divorce. Did my husband mention his infidelity?" I queried, scrutinizing Jake's expression. His reaction confirmed my suspicions. He was again caught off guard. "I won't lie," I admitted, acknowledging the personal cost. It was disheartening to have to acknowledge the betrayal to a colleague. However, I had to maintain composure. My position remained strong, a fact I couldn't ignore. No, I don't think my client mentioned that," Jay replied, "but he did warn me that you might make unfounded accusations to damage his reputation." "Oh, poor Jake," I sympathized. "Your client has manipulated you. He even thinks you are one of the best lawyers around, which is a significant compliment, but you are still a considerable distance from my standing." "I wish he'd mentioned your legal prowess," Jake confessed. "He only told me you work at a law firm." "My husband never truly valued my achievements," I lamented. "He consistently undermined my work and influence. It was foolish to remain with him for so long, but it was shrewd of me to secure a prenuptial agreement." Jake's face registered shock at the mention of the prenup. It was a foreign concept. Xander had cunningly omitted this detail from his briefing, perhaps hoping I had forgotten about it. "Is there a prenuptial agreement in this marriage?" Jake asked, visibly surprised. "Your husband didn't mention it. Do you have proof?" Instead of defending himself, he coldly announced his relief at my discovery. "I am glad you found out, Sophia. I no longer need to hide my new girlfriend. We'll have a perfect life together after I divorce your useless self. I'll finally marry someone worthy of me and my reputation." His words, a barrage of insults and accusations of my inadequacy, struck me like a physical blow. He not only suggested divorce, but also declared that I was unworthy of him, proclaiming that a mistress would make a better partner. Tears welled up as he reveled in his infidelity, his pride a stark contrast to my devastation. This was the man I'd loved for over a decade. "How could you say that, Xander? All these years, I've stood by you through thick and thin, upholding our vows and valuing you above all else." His response was callous, dismissing my worth. "Well, Sophia, it doesn't matter anymore. You're simply not right for me. I'm now a successful businessman, and a woman with average looks and a pretentious law degree won't benefit me." My sense of worthlessness intensified. "How could you, Xander? I'm a capable woman, even if I don't fit your narrow definition of beauty. I've been a good wife, and now you're considering divorce." He corrected me coldly, "I'm not considering divorce, Sophia. I've already decided to divorce you. I'm done. I don't want to be with you anymore. I'll leave soon, and I've already hired a lawyer. You'd better move out before I return home. I don't want to see your unattractive face again." Hours later, Xander's friend delivered the divorce papers, offering a sympathetic glance. I accepted the documents, numb with grief, and retreated to my childhood home. The reality of my wasted years with a cruel man sunk in. But I wouldn't let this break me. I would regain control of my life and teach him a lesson. When the friend delivered the papers, he mentioned Xander had been attempting to prolong the divorce proceedings. The truth dawned on me: we had a prenuptial agreement. Xander had stipulated that I was entitled to half his business assets if he cheated. In my emotional state, it was clear why he wanted to drag out the divorce. He hoped I would relinquish my rightful share. Determined to uphold my rights, I immediately contacted Xander's lawyer and scheduled a meeting. Within 2 days, I moved out of Xander's house, back to my childhood home. I texted Xander that I had relocated, asserting that I was taking my unattractive face and body out of his home. He responded, smugly, that I'd come to my senses and not make a fuss. But I warned him, "I'll get my share of your business, that's for sure. For now, stay away from me." I was prepared to face the challenges ahead, committed to upholding the prenuptial agreement. I refused to speak with him. Xander's audacious attempt to reclaim our marriage after his infidelity left me speechless. His proposition, following his clandestine affair and subsequent reconciliation attempts with his paramour, was frankly ludicrous. He seemed to believe a simple apology and a plea for a second chance would erase the profound betrayal. I, however, had already firmly established my boundaries. The clause in our prenuptial agreement, meticulously crafted to safeguard my interests in the event of such a transgression, was precisely the instrument I needed. I wouldn't relinquish my rights so easily, especially after the blatant betrayal. His actions had exposed his true colors. The betrayal, coupled with his efforts to re-engage, had ultimately cemented my resolve to move on. The prenuptial agreement, a meticulously crafted document, proved to be my greatest ally. It stipulated the division of his business assets in the event of divorce, and it was duly executed. This wasn't just about financial recompense, it was about reclaiming my own autonomy and future. His desperate attempts to avoid this outcome were met with a calculated indifference. The affair with his mistress, a further complication in the proceedings, had played a significant role in the outcome.